Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new LEGO R2-D2 set that was released March 1st, 2024. This is set number 75379 and it comes with 1,050 pieces and is recommended for ages 10 and up. Taking a look at the back of the box gives us a pretty good look at R2-D2 himself as well as some of the features he comes with. On the side of the box you're going to see the 25th anniversary logo as well as a little sneak peek for the exclusive minifigure in this set, Darth Malak. This set comes with 12 numbered bags, which is a little bit more than I was expecting. It also comes with a sticker sheet that has a pretty good variety of stickers, as well as the instructions to build everyone's favorite astromech droid. My first impressions just looking directly at R2-D2 after he is built is that this is a very impressive build. He's also a lot smaller than I originally thought he would be. We're going to start with the head of R2-D2, which I think is very well built. I like the shape overall, and I do appreciate the extra detail found all the way around the head. There's a couple of stickers for added detail, as well as a pink and green stud just to add a little bit more variety in color. His head is also able to articulate a full 360 degrees. Moving on to the body of R2-D2, I think LEGO did a pretty good job of capturing the important details of R2-D2 at this scale. LEGO has also built an R2-D2's clasp arm, which is able to move up and down, as well as the electric rod he is able to use to hack various terminals in the movies and shows. Moving on to the legs of R2-D2, I am impressed with how much detail LEGO was able to pack into such a small condensed area. However, I'm not a fan of the two holes found on his feet. Both legs are designed exactly the same, which is nice to add some good symmetry to R2-D2 and the build overall. There's also some wiring found on R2-D2's feet, which is accurate to the character. The one thing I do not like is that blue Technic pin that is very visible on his middle foot. It breaks up the color and consistency of the build and just looks out of place. The middle foot on R2-D2 is able to be easily removed if you wanted to have him in a more upright posture. This is typically the position R2-D2 is in when he is shut down, and it's nice to have that option to display him. The last thing I want to mention is that on the bottom of R2-D2's feet, he does have these round slide dish plates. This is so R2-D2 can easily slide across surfaces. I would have preferred for wheels to be incorporated somehow in the bottom of this build. The various accessories found on R2-D2 are able to be removed. This includes the head scanner piece found on top of his head, as well as the two robotic arms found on the front of the droid. These pieces are only held onto by a few studs, which is really nice for ease of access to take them on and off. LEGO does include 2 extra of these pieces here, and again I do like how easy both of these pieces are able to come on and off. And I do like the variety in the ways you can display R2-D2 in this set. Once both those pieces are put in, you have just a very classic looking R2-D2. I personally prefer to display my R2-D2 this way, as I felt the other look was just a little too busy. But I do appreciate the option being available. This set comes with a printed UCS style plaque as well as an R2-D2 minifigure that can be removed. There's nothing overly special about this R2-D2 minifigure, but it is the version that comes with the back printing, which is nice. Last, we have the exclusive 25th anniversary minifigure in this set. This is Darth Malak. He comes with this really nice 25th anniversary stand that has that same logo that was found on the side of the box. I do like the look and design of Darth Malak overall. He does have some nice printing on the chest and leg pieces. Turning the minifigure around and lifting up his cape will reveal that the minifigure does indeed come with some nice back printing. Taking Darth Malak's mask off will reveal a print that shows his damaged jaw, and he also has some printing on the back of his head. Overall, I really do like this minifigure, and it's nice to see some Knights of the Old Republic representation. This set retails for $100, which I think is actually a pretty good value for what you're getting. While I do find the R2-D2 is a little bit small, for $100 I do think it's a pretty good value. The Darth Malak minifigure is an excellent addition, and I'm excited to see the rest of the 25th anniversary sets. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new LEGO Star Wars set, Boarding the Tantive IV. This set comes with 502 pieces and is recommended for ages 8 and up. This set was released to help celebrate the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars and even comes with an exclusive minifigure, ARC Trooper 5s. Taking a look at the side of the box, which is this nice blue chrome color, you can see the 25th anniversary logo featuring R2-D2. The back of the box gives us this nice look at the set itself, as well as some of the play features we can expect after we're done building. Opening up the box, we're presented with 5 numbered bags, which is about the amount I thought would be in this set. We also have the instruction manual as well as a sticker sheet. My first impression after completing the build process is that I do wish this was one of the 18+ diorama sets. For me personally, I think it would have been better to have a more sleek adult-like design. The diorama could have focused on Darth Vader's first Force choke ever seen in the movies, as well as the quote plaque saying, "What have you done with those plans?" But enough of what it could have been, we're going to talk about the actual set, which I do like overall. I think LEGO did a really good job making this an easily recognizable scene from the movie A New Hope. I also like all the studs found on the floor, which can give a wide variety of placement for the minifigures in this set. I think it's important for a set that is designed for kids to have this kind of placement for imaginative play. Even though the set is designed for kids, I do think that with the right placement, it can make for a pretty good display piece on a shelf for a collector like myself. I do think the stickers are appropriately used. 4 of them are used to create some of the ventilation seen throughout the set, and it just gives a little bit more detail overall. There's also a sticker above the doorway here, which again just gives the set some really nice detail. On the front of the set, you're going to find these 4 knobs. When moved back and forth will cause part of the floor to raise up and down. This is part of one of the play features in the set, which we'll get into a little bit later. Taking a look at the side as well as the back of the set, it definitely shows the benefit of having the set displayed from the front. There's not as much detail in the rod going across the back here as to help accommodate for one of the play features of this set. And that is when you pull this piece down, the entire rod will rotate. Here's the look from another angle. You can see that piece here, and when you pull it down, it allows the doorway to open, revealing Darth Vader. The detail found on the door here is a print and not a sticker, which is a good call because if you're opening and closing the door over and over, the sticker would eventually get damaged. Moving back to the front of the set, we're going to talk about what exactly these 4 knobs here do on the front. When you have minifigures in the correct position and you pull the knob, it allows them to fall over. It's a neat feature, I suppose, but as you can see here, if the minifigure is not positioned correctly, it will not work. As you can see, I had the Stormtrooper's leg not properly aligned, and just a little nudge caused the feature to work. It is a pretty nice play feature if you wanted to simulate the Rebels or Stormtroopers being shot in battle. The set also comes with this clear piece here. The idea with this piece is that you can position it in front of Darth Vader, and you can place Captain Antilles on top of it to give the effect that Darth Vader is choking him with the Force. I do like the way this looks overall, and I think the expression that LEGO gave Captain Antilles fits this scenario perfectly. This set comes with 2 Rebel Troopers, and their faces are double-sided, which is why they have different expressions. I do think it would have been nice for the figures to have some sort of leg printing, but they do come with a pretty nice back print. The other Rebel figure in the set is Captain Antilles, and he also does not have any leg printing. He does come with an alternate expression, which I talked about earlier, as well as some back printing. This set also comes with 2 Stormtroopers, and as far as I can tell, there's nothing overly special about them. Removing the helmets does reveal that they do have faces, which is a nice touch. Spinning one of the minifigures around does indeed show that it comes with some back printing. This set also comes with Darth Vader, who's got chest, arm, and leg printing. His helmet can be removed to show the face underneath. He also has some printing on the back of his head, as well as a back print. Last, we have the exclusive minifigure of this set. This is ARC Trooper 5s. Like with all the other 25th anniversary sets, he comes on this printed base featuring R2-D2. I really have nothing but good things to say about this figure. He is packed full of detail, and I am overly impressed with how much his prints align. He's also got a very detailed side arm print. I also think LEGO did a good job capturing the details of his face. I love the 5 on his forehead. And of course, with a figure like this, he's got some pretty good back printing as well. This set retails for $54.99, which I think is a pretty good deal for what you're getting. I do like all the minifigures included, and even though I still wish this was a diorama set, I think it makes an excellent addition to my Star Wars collection. Today we're taking a look at a brand new LEGO Star Wars set that was just released. This is Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator. This is set number 75383 and comes with 640 pieces and is recommended for ages 9 and up. We're going to start by taking a look at Saw Gerrera, who is the exclusive 25th anniversary minifigure in this set. And I think LEGO did a really good job with him. As we turn Saw Gerrera to the side here, you can see on his left side he has a gray hand. As we make our way to the back of the figure, we come to my personal favorite part, which is his printed cape piece. I think it looks absolutely phenomenal and is a great addition to this figure. As we make our way back to the front of the figure, you can even see he has some printing there on his shoulder. As we continue to spin the figure back to the front, I am really impressed with the print quality of the chest and legs, and how they line up well with his armor piece. Saw Gerrera does come with a second facial expression, and my interpretation of this is he's a little bit more agitated. As we remove some of his accessories, you can see the print on his chest there is the exact same as the armor piece. And overall, I just think this is a really detailed looking figure. As we spin Saw Gerrera all the way around to the back, you can see he has a pretty detailed back print as well. Like with all the other anniversary figures, he comes on this printed base plate that says 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. Here's what Saw Gerrera looks like when he's on his base plate, and I personally really like the look of this. The next minifigure we're taking a look at is a young Anakin Skywalker. And I think LEGO has pretty much perfected this minifigure. I really like the hairpiece they decided to use, and as we spin him around to the back, you can see he has a relatively detailed back print. He does have a second facial expression, which depicts him being a little bit more surprised, and I do like his chest print overall. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Qui-Gon Jinn, which again I think is just a phenomenal looking minifigure. He comes with his lightsaber as an accessory and a cloth poncho. If I had to give one critique about this minifigure is maybe they could have made his hair tie piece a slightly different colored brown, but I don't want that to take away from the fact that I think this is an awesome looking minifigure. Removing his accessories, we can get a better look at his chest and leg print, and unfortunately the color of his legs doesn't match the torso completely. As we make our way to the back of the minifigure here, you can get a little sneak peek at his back print, and if we remove his hairpiece, it will give you a full look. The last minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Darth Maul, who is probably my least favorite minifigure out of this set. I don't think he's a bad minifigure by any means, but when compared to the other figures in this set, we've had so many Darth Mauls. As we turn him around to the back here, you can see he does have a back print, and he also comes with his double-sided red lightsaber as an accessory. Making our way back to the front, you can see that this version of Darth Maul doesn't come with any pupils, which I actually don't necessarily mind because it does make him different. Overall, I do think you're going to get 4 relatively solid minifigures in this set. I think Saw Gerrera is a good choice for a 25th anniversary minifigure. These are probably the best versions of young Anakin Skywalker and Qui-Gon Jinn we've ever gotten. And while I don't dislike the Darth Maul, I do think he should have come with a cape and a hood to make him a little bit more accurate to the scene from the movie. This set also includes Darth Maul's blood-finned speeder, which is a really simple build. But it does get the job done. I don't know if it's because the design is so simple, but I do wish there was something a little bit more to this speeder bike. Darth Maul is able to sit nicely on the blood-finned speeder. But again, I just really wish he had his hood and cape piece. He would look so much cooler. Now we're going to get onto the actual Sith Infiltrator ship. And right off the bat, I want to give LEGO some praise for the design of this ship. I think this is probably the sleekest and most accurate Sith Infiltrator ship we've ever gotten. As we take a look at the top of the ship, you can see LEGO's color palette used mostly 2 different shades of gray. I also want to point out that this set doesn't have any stickers. So all the detail you see on this set is either brick built or printed. And as we take a look down the side of the ship, you can see it's just a really sleek and nice design. Both sides of the ship are designed identically, which gives it some good symmetry and just a really good design overall. Making our way to the back of the ship, you can see it's got some pretty good brick-built detail. While the Sith Infiltrator is mostly 2 shades of gray, LEGO did throw in a couple of colored transparent pieces to break up the consistency. I also think it's interesting how on the left side of the ship there is a transparent red piece, and on the right side there is a transparent green piece. It's a really great attention to detail. On the back of the ship behind these 2 sloped grille pieces, you can also see some green transparent colors there as well. The Sith Infiltrator does have an interior, which can be accessed in a really cool way. All you have to do is move a couple of pieces, and there we go. There's also enough room on the inside to fit Darth Maul's blood-finned speeder. Once the speeder bike is placed inside, the ship is able to close up nicely. This is nice for someone like me, because otherwise I'd probably end up losing the speeder at some point in the future. When the ship is all closed up, there is this little gap at the top here, which I think could have been tightened up a bit. Taking a little bit of a better look on the inside, it's just a really simple design. There's a printed control panel and some clips. The clips are a nice addition, however, because they can be used to store Darth Maul's double-sided lightsaber. There's also enough room for Darth Maul to be sitting inside the ship as well. The ship also comes with 2 landing gears, one found on each side, and picking up the ship, they're able to be folded in nicely. I do like how LEGO includes retractable landing gears on a lot of their ships, especially for collectors who like to hang their sets from the ceiling. The Sith Infiltrator does come with a couple of play features, the first of which we can access by pulling this piece back here. What you do is you take some probe droids that come in this set, and you take the probe droids and you load them up into the ship. This set comes with 3, and all of them fit nicely inside. Flipping the ship over and looking at the bottom, you can see there's this piece here, and pulling it back will cause that little red piece to retract. And if we take that piece and pull it back with the probe droids inside, they will be dispatched from the ship. Also think it's worth noting that there's actually a little bit of detail on that hatch piece as well. The other play feature has to do with these 2 gray ingot pieces right here. And if we take a look at the front of the ship, you can see there's 2 spring-loaded shooters. Pushing down each one of the ingot pieces will allow the corresponding missile to fire. This set retails for $70, which I think is a little too pricey in my opinion. But I don't necessarily think this is a bad set, and I do like the minifigures included overall. Subscribe to my channel for more LEGO reviews. Hey everybody, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review here on my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Imperial Star Destroyer. This set comes with 1,555 pieces and is recommended for ages 10 and up. And we're going to start this review by taking a look at the minifigures that come in the set, starting with the exclusive 25th anniversary figure, Cal Kestis, who is the main character in the Jedi Star Wars video games made by Respawn Entertainment. And I think LEGO did a pretty good job recapturing the overall look and design of Cal Kestis in minifigure form. Cal does come with a really nice looking chest print, and he does have some printed detail on the legs as well. And this figure doesn't come with any arm printing, but as we make our way around to the back of Cal, you can see a relatively detailed back print. And this is a minifigure that LEGO Star Wars fans have been asking for years, and it's really exciting to finally be getting this figure. And because of this figure's inclusion in this set, I think it's going to be a big draw for people who end up picking this set up. You'll have to let me know what you think of Cal Kestis and his design in minifigure form in the comments below. Cal also comes with a second angrier facial expression as well as his lightsaber as an accessory. Like with all the other 25th anniversary exclusive minifigures, Cal Kestis also comes with this printed base that features R2-D2 and says 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. And I do like the overall looking design of these 25th anniversary bases, and it does make the figures feel a little bit more special. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Darth Vader. And this is the same version of Darth Vader that we've gotten in previous sets, but that's not to say that it's a bad figure. As a matter of fact, I think quite the opposite, and I think LEGO has pretty much perfected the Darth Vader minifigure. Vader comes with some really nice printed detail on his chest and legs that flow together very well as some really good looking arm printing. And as we make our way around to the back of Darth Vader, you can see that he's rocking his black cape, and I also really like the look and design of the helmet mold that LEGO has created for this figure. I find it to be very accurate to the character that it's trying to represent, and like I said earlier, I find there to be little to no improvement that LEGO can make with this minifigure. Removing the helmet and cape of Darth Vader, we can get a little bit of a better look at his detail, including his face print, which I think looks rather nice. Without the cape and helmet, we can also get a better look at his arm printing, which looks fantastic, and there's also some printed detail on the back of his head, as well as a back print. Darth Vader also comes with his red lightsaber as an accessory. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Commander Braji. And I think this is an okay looking minifigure. I do like the detail of the chest print that this figure has, but I do think the lack of arm and leg printing really hurts this minifigure's design in my opinion. To me, this just looks like a very basic looking minifigure, and I don't really think there's anything too special about it. Commander Braji does come with a back print, which is nice to see, but again, I just feel like this figure is missing something. I think it also would have been nice for LEGO to include some hair on this figure as well. But as we make our way back to the front of the figure, you can see there's also a little bit of printed detail on the hat, which is nice to see. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is the Imperial crew member. And I do like the overall look and design of this minifigure. It is nice to see some chest and leg printing. This figure also comes with a little bit more printed detail on his face thanks to that printed headphone piece. This figure also comes with some hat printing, and as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see a back print as well. And while LEGO depicts this as just being a regular old Imperial crew member, I do find it rather interesting that I like this figure more than Commander Braji. This figure has a lot more printed detail and overall personality in my opinion. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is called the Imperial Gunner. And I also like the overall look and design of this minifigure as well. It has some really good chest and leg printing. I also like the printed Imperial logo found at the front of the helmet, as well as the overall helmet shape and mold. This figure also comes with a regular blaster as an accessory, and as we make our way around to the back of the Imperial Gunner, you can also see a detailed back print as well. Removing the helmet of the Imperial Gunner will reveal her face underneath, and I do wish that this figure came with a hairpiece to make her feel more complete. Next up we have the Imperial Navy Trooper. And while I do like the overall look and design of this minifigure, I do think it is a missed opportunity that there is no leg printing on this figure. But I do like the overall look and design. I think having a printed head strap on this figure makes it feel a little bit more complete. As well as the overall shape and design of the helmet, I think it looks relatively solid. And if we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see it comes with a back print as well. This figure doesn't come with any arm printing, but I don't think it necessarily hurts the overall look and design of this figure, and he also comes with a blaster rifle as an accessory. And if you're enjoying my review so far, maybe consider giving the video a like and subscribing to my channel for future brick built reviews. This figure also comes with an angrier alternate facial expression, which I think is a nice inclusion. The last figure we're going to be taking a look at is a Stormtrooper, which is the same old regular Stormtrooper we've been getting for a couple of years now, and I do like the overall look and design of this figure, but I'm not really the biggest fan of the helmet. Mostly because due to the shape of the helmet, you cannot fully articulate the head and have it look left and right. But other than that, I do like the look of this figure, and I think it comes with some really solid printing. And while I don't necessarily like the shape of the Stormtrooper helmet, I do think it is a relatively solid piece with some pretty good detail. Removing the helmet of the Stormtrooper will show the face underneath, and again, I do wish this figure came with a hairpiece included. With all of the minifigures out of the way, we're finally ready to talk about the actual Imperial Star Destroyer itself. And when this set was first revealed, a lot of people were concerned with the piece count and overall size of the build. But I'm happy to say that even having less pieces than its previous iterations, this is still a great build with a lot of really cool detail. I also think that the build is a relatively good size for what it is. On each side of the Imperial Star Destroyer, you're going to find a set of 4 turrets. And these turrets actually come with a really cool play feature. If I take this piece right here and start pushing it back and forth, it causes the turrets to rotate. And I do think that overall this play feature is implemented well, and while you're rotating the turrets side to side, they feel sturdy and they're not going to break or pop off. And the guns on the turret actually have a little bit of posability, which I think is really cool because you can pick and choose how you want the turrets to be displayed and what direction they're facing. And this is a really cool inclusion for collectors to choose how they want the turrets to be displayed, or for kids when they play with this set and their creative freedom. The Imperial Star Destroyer also comes with some spring-loaded shooters. If I take this piece right here and push it down, it will cause the missile to fire. And there's a missile found on each side of the ship. The look and design for the bridge for the Star Destroyer I think is executed well, and there is a sticker on the front of it to depict some windows. And I do find the back of the Star Destroyer to be relatively well detailed with a couple of pieces to give it some texture, and I really like the look and design for the engines for this ship. Another rather cool feature of the Star Destroyer is if you take these 2 panels and flip them upward, there's actually a carrying handle found underneath. And while I do think this is a nice inclusion, the space that the carrying handle is stored in is rather small for an adult-sized hand, but once you pick up the ship by the handle, it does feel relatively sturdy. The section of the ship that has the turrets and spring-loaded shooters can actually be lifted up off of the Star Destroyer. It's not as smooth of a process as I would like, but once that piece is removed, you can actually fold the sides of the ship down to reveal the interior. We'll start with the front section of the interior, which is meant to represent the inside of the bridge. There is a walkway found on the upper part of this section that has a control panel found at the end. And on the lower section of the bridge, you're going to find some monitors and seats for the Imperial crew members to help operate the Star Destroyer. And overall, I do like the design of this front section, and it's a great place for Darth Vader to keep an eye on his Imperial workers to make sure that they're behaving. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the front interior section of the Imperial Star Destroyer, we're now ready to move on to the back room here. And towards the back of this room, you're going to find a couple of screens and monitors with some stickers for detail, as well as a hologram table. And on the wall, you can see a syringe control panel and a glass cabinet. The glass cabinet can actually open up, and inside is a jar. And in the corner, you can see a mouse droid. Now that we're done taking a look at that half of the room, we're going to spin the Imperial Star Destroyer and take a look at the other side. And towards the back wall, you're going to find more screens and monitors, as well as a couple of crates that have some binoculars inside. And on the other side of the room, you're going to find a desk that has a glass cup and a control panel on it. And I think the back interior room here is a very spacious area, and I had absolutely no problem fitting the minifigures that come in this set around the room. This set retails for $160, which is quite a hefty price. But I do find this to be a very well-built LEGO Star Wars set, and it does include a lot of minifigures. And I know a lot of people have been excited for Cal Kestis to finally make his appearance in LEGO minifigure form, so while $160 is a lot of money, I can see it being worth that price if you're interested in picking it up. But with that being said, I appreciate you watching my review. Make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to my channel for future brick-built content and reviews. Hey everybody, and welcome to another review on my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars set called the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit. This is set number 75396. It comes with 558 pieces and is recommended for ages 9 and up. And we're going to kick off this review by taking a look at the minifigures that come in the set, starting with the 25th anniversary figure, 9nub. And overall, I think this is a rather impressive looking minifigure. I love the detail on the chest and leg printing, and the figure also has his own exclusive molded piece to represent the alien's head. I do think that this figure would have benefited from dual molded legs or some leg printing, however, to represent the character's boots. As we make our way around to the back of 9nub, you can see that he does come with some back printing as well that I think looks pretty great for what it is. Something that I would have liked to have seen included with this figure, which LEGO doesn't do, is some side leg printing to represent the character's holster. Because when we make our way back to the front of 9nub, you can see that he has some printed detail of a leather holster that wraps around his legs, but there's no place to put his blaster. But again, this is something that LEGO doesn't do, but I do feel like it is a missed opportunity. Like with all the other 25th anniversary figures, 9nub comes with this really nice printed base that features R2 and a LEGO brick that says 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. And I think 9nub looks really great when he's standing on top of his anniversary base. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Luke Skywalker that is included in this set. And I think this is a pretty decent looking minifigure. He does have some chest and leg printing that flows together and lines up very well. There is no arm or foot printing on this figure, which I don't think is necessary to its overall design. I think the hairpiece they used for Luke looks pretty good and is pretty accurate to what it's trying to depict in the scene. And as we make our way around to the back of Luke, you can see he has a pretty detailed back print as well. And overall, it's decent for what it is. Luke also comes with a second facial expression and his green lightsaber as an accessory. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Han Solo figure that is included. And I think this is a pretty good looking minifigure. I love the shirt print detail. There is no dual molded legs or printing to represent the boots that the character wears, which I feel like is a little bit of a missed opportunity. There is also no arm printing on this figure, but I don't really think it needs any. And as we make our way around to the back of Han Solo, you can see the figure comes with some back printing as well. Han Solo also comes with a second facial expression and handcuffs as an accessory. And I do like the overall look and design of this facial expression, as he has just been recently released from Carbonite. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Chewbacca minifigure that is included. And this is the same Chewbacca minifigure we've gotten from sets in the past, so odds are you probably have this guy. But I still think that this is a pretty good looking minifigure. I love the printed detail on the legs and the mold for the upper torso for the character. If I have to be nitpicky, I do think it would be nice to see some sort of printed detail on the character's arms to represent fur. But as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see it still looks really great. Chewbacca also comes with some handcuffs as an accessory. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Lando Calrissian in his Skiff Guard uniform. And I think this is a really great looking minifigure. I love all the detail on the chest and leg prints. And you can see that Lando comes with a pretty good looking helmet piece as well. As we make our way around to the side of the figure, you can see that there is no arm printing, which I don't think is necessarily too big of a deal. And as we continue to make our way around to the back of Lando here, you can see that he does indeed come with a pretty detailed back print that I think looks pretty great overall and has some really good detail to it. Lando does come with two different facial expressions. The first one here has some smiling. And as we take the figure and spin him all the way around to the back, you can see that he does come with a second facial expression that depicts him with a more straight face. Lando also comes with a weapon as an accessory. The last minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Boba Fett. And while I do feel like this figure does have some really good printed detail, I have to admit I'm highly disappointed that he doesn't have his cloth pauldron piece. As we turn the figure around to the side, you can see he has some pretty good arm printing there as well, which looks really great. And as we continue to spin the figure around, you can also see that he comes with a jetpack as well that is covering up a relatively good back print, which we'll be taking a look at in just a second. There's also a little bit of controversy with this figure because this is the incorrect Boba Fett that is not depicted in the actual scene. The Boba Fett that we're taking a look at right now is actually from the movie Empire Strikes Back, and the Sarlacc pit scene that is inspired by this set is in the movie Return of the Jedi. And while this is a really great looking minifigure, I do think it is a little bit of a letdown that we have the incorrect figure as a whole. Removing the helmet and jetpack of Boba Fett, we can get a good look at his facial print, and as we spin the figure around to the back, we can get a good look at that pretty detailed back print I was mentioning a minute ago. I don't think this is a bad figure, it's just the incorrect one. Boba Fett also comes with a blaster as an accessory. With all the minifigures out of the way, we're going to talk about the two builds that come in this set, and we're going to start with the Sarlacc pit, which I think is actually a really solid looking build that has a lot of potential for display ability as well as playability for kids. Picking up the Sarlacc pit and looking directly into it, you can see that there's actually a lot of really good looking detail here. And one thing that I appreciate about this build is the asymmetry with the teeth inside of the pit. I think it gives it a more naturalistic looking feel. I also think using black at the very bottom of the pit gives it a little bit more depth than it would have if it was just plain brown. We can also grab the Sarlacc pit and spin it all the way around. In doing so, we'll reveal two little gray knobs found on the back of the build. And rotating these two knobs will allow the arms, tentacles, extremities of the Sarlacc pit to move around. Whatever they are, I think this play feature is implemented very well, and I think it's going to be a great feature for kids. Unfortunately, you have to manually open and close the mouth of the Sarlacc, and for me personally, I would have liked to have seen some kind of feature that you have to pull back on to allow the mouth to open and close without having to use your fingers. Obviously, I don't want to get bitten. Another design choice about the Sarlacc that I like is it's actually big enough to hold a minifigure inside. This, of course, is going to be a key feature for this set, and I think it's implemented well. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about the Desert Skiff, which has a really solid and sleek looking design, and I think is implemented almost perfectly into brick built form. The front of the Skiff has a really sharp and tight looking design, and just overall has some really good shaping. Taking a look at the back of the Skiff, you can see there's actually some pretty good detail for the thrusters as well. The Skiff does come with a couple of features. The right handrail can actually be moved out to the side to allow for more room for minifigures and to recreate some scenes from the movie. On the other side of the Skiff, you're going to see this really small circle tan piece right here. This is to access another feature of the Skiff. If you push it in and then we spin it around to the other side, you can see that the plank of the Skiff has emerged. Both of the wing pieces found on each side of the Desert Skiff can be rotated around and also moved up and down, but I think this design choice is more of getting the angle of the piece rather than actual playability and movability of the vehicle. But I still think it is worth mentioning. And lastly, the detail on top of the Skiff looks really great, and I love the mixture of studded and flat pieces. There is also plenty of room for all of the minifigures that are included in this set to ride inside of the vehicle. The LEGO Star Wars Desert Skiff and Sarlacc pit retails for a whopping $80. I do feel like this is a little bit too much money for this set. I feel like this set should be worth more around $55 to $60. But I will say that putting the price aside, I do think it is a rather great looking set. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more brick built reviews. Hey everybody, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review on my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Creative Play Droid Builder. This is set number 75392, and it comes with 1,186 pieces. It also comes with 4 Astromech Droid builds, as well as a 25th anniversary exclusive figure. And we're going to start off by taking a look at the 25th anniversary exclusive figure, Young Princess Leia. And I will say, I do find this to be a rather strange choice for a 25th anniversary figure. I do feel like there were more interesting options, but we're going to put all that to the side and talk about young Leia here. I do feel like this character does have a fairly good chest and back print, but as we turn the figure to the side, you can see there is no arm printing on this figure, but she does come with some brown minifigure hands, I suppose meant to represent some gloves. As we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see that back print I was talking about a moment ago. And she does come with a more worried second facial expression, and I will say that I do feel like the character does have a rather good looking hairpiece as well. She also comes with her droid Lola as an accessory, and while I don't think this is necessarily a bad minifigure, I don't think it's worth a 25th anniversary figure slot in this collection. And this is probably my least favorite minifigure from the 25th anniversary exclusive figures I've reviewed so far. You'll have to let me know what you think of young Princess Leia in the comments below. Like with all the other 25th exclusive figures, Leia does come with a printed 25 years of LEGO Star Wars base that has R2-D2 on it. And they also included a stud for Lola, which is pretty cool. With the minifigure out of the way, we're going to start talking about the droids that come in the set, starting with R2-D2. And I do think for being a smaller, simplistic build of R2-D2, I feel like LEGO did a really good job interpreting this character in brick-built form. The droid also comes with some articulation. R2-D2's head can be rotated a full 360 degrees, and you can see that I'm going to take the arms of R2-D2 and they can also be raised up and down. This of course is really great to see, and if we take the third leg of R2-D2, that can be moved as well, and yes, I am aware it is currently upside down. The piece here in the middle is actually a print, which really surprised me as I was expecting this to be a sticker. And as we turn R2-D2 around to the back here, you can see that LEGO did a pretty good job tiling off the back and making it look really smooth, while also giving a little bit of variety in color for detail. R2-D2 does come with a couple of accessories. The first ones we're going to put on are these headphones here. They can be clipped right onto the top of his head and pushed down on the side for a nice snug fit. He also comes with some really simple brick-built thrusters that can be clipped to the sides of his legs. And while these accessories are only made up of a couple of pieces, I think they do a good job matching the overall aesthetic that LEGO was going for. The final accessory that they have you build with R2-D2 is his duck pull floaty, and in order to attach the float, you have to remove R2-D2's third leg and then pull off part of his torso. Once you have all those pieces removed, you can grab the floaty and attach it nicely to the torso of R2-D2. Once you have everything in place, you can grab the third leg of R2-D2 and secure it nicely back in place. And I will say this is a relatively straightforward and simple process, but there were a couple times I tried to add this accessories and a couple pieces came off. But I do think that once you have all the accessories attached to R2-D2, he does look relatively cool. And I do feel like this is a really cool feature for kids. However, for adult collectors like myself, I will be removing these accessories for display purposes. The next droid we're going to be taking a look at is R5J2. And just like with RTD2 for a smaller, simplistic build, I do feel like this droid has a fair amount of detail. The head can be rotated a full 360 degrees, and if we take the legs of the droid, they can also be moved up and down. So the articulation of this droid is very similar to that of RTD2 that we just took a look at, and you can see even the third leg has that little bit of range of motion and articulation, and I even have it on right this time. As far as accessories goes, R5 does come with a pretty good variety of them. We're going to start by adding his purple top hat, which looks absolutely awesome. The next accessory we're going to be adding are some black frame glasses. There's a single stud on the middle of R5's face that allows you to attach the glasses easily. And I feel like you can't wear a purple top hat without having a purple bow, but thankfully LEGO thought of this, and the third accessory we're going to be adding onto R5 is a purple bow tie. And I must say, so far he's looking pretty dapper. The last accessories they have you add to R5 are these stud shooters. There's nothing special about them, but they are easy to add to the droid thanks to some studs found on the side of his legs. And just like with RTD2, I feel like R5 does look pretty good once you have all of his accessories in place. I think the purple clashes with the black very well, and with the stud shooters he can look absolutely dapper as he takes his enemies out. The next droid we're going to be taking a look at is QTKT, who is pretty much identical in design and brick building techniques as R2D2. QT does come with the same articulation as the previous two droids. Her head can be rotated a full 360 degrees, and of course both of the legs of the droid are able to be raised up and down, and there's even some articulation on the third leg, and you get the idea. As far as accessories go, I feel like QT does have some good and bad ones. The first up is this flower hat, which I personally think is a really cute accessory that QT wears very well. She also comes with these round sunglasses that can be attached to the front of the droid's face, and these are by far my least favorite accessory that come in this set as I feel like they don't fit the droid very well. The last accessory that QT comes with is this really cute looking bow, and while I do like its overall design, I don't feel like it looks as good as the bow that came on R5. Here's a quick look at QT once she has all her accessories equipped. And I don't think she looks necessarily horrible, but I do feel like LEGO could have done a little bit of a better job designing those glasses. The last droid we're going to be taking a look at is Chopper himself. And just like with the other three droids, Chopper does come with the same articulation. The head can be rotated a full 360 degrees, and both of the legs of the droid can also be raised up and down. But I think my favorite part about Chopper is just how it's a little bit of a different build when compared to the other three. He's just a little bit shorter and has a different anatomy overall, and if we take Chopper and spin him around to the back, you can see some pretty good detail here as well. Chopper does come with quite a few different accessories, the first of which we're going to be taking a look at is this really cool looking cowboy hat. The next couple accessories are small builds that can fit into the hands of Chopper, starting with this really small blue balloon, and then you can put some kind of green dessert in the other hand as well. And once you have both of these accessories in place, Chopper looks like he's ready for a good old time. The last accessory that you can give Chopper is this really simple brick-built mustache. And once you have all the accessories on Chopper, I do feel like he does look relatively goofy, which of course is what I assume LEGO was going for, but I do like him overall. Chopper also comes with a bonus accessory of this red and white hat, however I don't think it's as interesting or cool as the cowboy hat. And of course you can mix and match the different accessories to the droids, which again I feel like is a really cool and creative play feature for kids, and I can see them having an absolute blast designing and customizing these droids. The last thing that I want to mention is this set does come with 4 different instruction manuals, one for each droid. So if you have some friends or family that are into LEGO, you can build these droids together. The LEGO Star Wars Creative Droid Builder retails for a whopping $100, which I do feel like when you look at the set overall does seem a little high for what you're getting. I do think that all 4 droid builds are done relatively well, but I personally would wait for a sale or find the set on clearance before you pick it up. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more LEGO reviews. Hey everybody, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review on my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Imperial Dropship versus the Rebel Scout Speeder. This is set number 40755, it comes with 383 pieces and is recommended for ages 8 and up. And we're going to start by taking a look at the minifigures that come in the set, starting with the 25th anniversary exclusive figure, QTKT. And I do like the overall look and design of this droid as a whole. There is some nice printed detail found on the head and chest of the astromech, and I do like the pink color as well. I think it looks really good. And as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see that this droid unfortunately doesn't come with the back print. This of course is hugely disappointing in my opinion because these 25th anniversary figures are supposed to be special and incredibly detailed. And since LEGO has created a back print for R2D2, it is kind of a little bit of a shame they didn't include it for QTKT. But if we take that and put it to the side, I do think the figure looks great overall, and it's a neat inclusion to the 25th anniversary figure line. Like with all the other 25th anniversary figures, QTKT does come with a printed base that has R2D2 on it that says 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. And I like the design of this base, and I think the figure looks great standing on it. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Rebel Fleet Trooper, and I do think that this is a pretty good looking minifigure in its own right. I love the detail found on the chest print. On the legs of this figure, there is no printed detail and there are no dual molded legs, which is a little bit of a letdown in my opinion, but I do like the color of the arms for this minifigure as I feel like it complements the gray minifigure legs very well. And as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see a back print too. And then of course this figure does come with a Rebel helmet that I do think looks pretty great for what it is. And then as we start to make our way back to the front of the figure, you can see that he does come with a pretty good looking face print as well. You get a total of 3 different Rebel fleet troopers in this set, and each one of them comes with 2 different facial expressions. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Stormtrooper that comes in this set. And I'm sure you've heard this complaint before, but you're going to hear it again. I do not like the helmet for this figure at all. The front of the helmet is way too long, and since it wraps over the front of the torso, you're unable to turn the head of this figure, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But besides that complaint, I do think that the figure looks good overall and has a lot of really nice printed detail. And just like with the Rebel Fleet Troopers that came in this set, you get a total of 3 different Stormtroopers, and each one comes with a different facial expression. And I do find it interesting to note that the Stormtroopers only come with 1 facial expression each. There is a good variety of weapons included in this set for the characters to wield, which is a nice inclusion. With the figures out of the way, we're going to talk about the Imperial Dropship next. And at first I didn't really care for the look and design of this vehicle, but as I've looked at it more, I have grown to appreciate its design. Unfortunately, this set does come with a couple of stickers, and you can see that they are placed on both sides of the vehicle. And if we take a look at the dropship from a top-down perspective, you can see a 3rd sticker there on the top as well. But I do like the overall dark blue color of the ship mixed in with those light and dark gray pieces. I think it fits the overall color scheme well. The dropship does come equipped with 2 stud shooters, so you can take out those pesky rebel scum. I also like the design for the cockpit of the ship and how LEGO was able to pull off that kind of curvature there in the front. And putting a figure inside is relatively easy. You lift up the windshield and put a figure inside. Taking the dropship and spinning it around to the back, you can see some okay looking detail for the thrusters of the vehicle, and there are a couple of studs found on the back of the vehicle for you to place minifigures on, which I do think is a nice inclusion for LEGO to include enough seating for the 3 Stormtroopers that come in this set. There are a couple of clips found on both sides of the ship for you to attach the Stormtroopers' blasters. The back of the dropship can also be easily detached, so you're able to drop the Stormtroopers off into battle. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Republic Scout Speeder, which is my personal favorite out of the 2 vehicles that are included in this set, as I feel like it has a pretty strong looking design. And unfortunately, just like with the dropship, there are no prints on this vehicle, and everything you see as far as detail goes are stickers. And you can see that there is a 3rd sticker found on the front of the speeder, and the interior of the speeder is rather simple in design. But there is enough space to fit 2 rebels inside of the vehicle. There is a little bit of detail found on the back of the speeder meant to represent the thrusters, and on top of the speeder you can find a cannon that can rotate a full 360 degrees. Which is a really simple and cool feature, and if we take the front of the cannon, you can see that it's able to move up and down, which again is a really simple inclusion, but I do think it's nice for kids in their creative play. There is also a seating area with a printed control panel that you can place a minifigure onto. And if you look closely, you can see a couple of stud shooters found on both sides of the speeder here. A nice design feature that LEGO integrated into the speeder is you can take the cannon and remove it, and there is enough space for you to put the weapons for the rebels inside. The last thing I want to mention about the speeder is the bottom does have a couple of clear pieces. And I like this design choice as it makes the speeder really easy to push across a table and gives it the effect of hovering above the ground. This set does come with 2 different instruction manuals if you wanted to build with a friend or someone in your family. The Imperial Dropship vs Rebel Scout Speeder retails for $40, which I don't think is the worst price I've ever seen for a LEGO Star Wars set, but I don't think you're necessarily getting anything too special besides the QTKT minifigure that's included. Thank you so much for watching my review, and be sure to like the video and subscribe for more LEGO content.